Good morning everyone, today we're checking out a brand new video from ConX about what are the Digimon 3 Musketeers full evolution lines. Now, 3 Musketeers, I have no idea what that actually is, but I'm going to assume it's, well, kind of like the Musketeers, or Mouseketeers, no, oh, you know what, screw it, let's just hop in. My
The
brain isn't
Three
on the wall.
Musketeers. Digimon's group are badass gunslingers. Magna Kidmon and his dark side Avenge Kidmon based on Billy the Kid, Bielstarmon based on what I used to fantasize about when I was a kid, and Gundramon, the American dream, a kid. But recently it has been confirmed that the Three Musketeers have been added to Digimon Story Time Stranger in all their
awesome.
3D greatness, and wow, they look good. But looking at this made me think, what are their evolution lines?
Boom, boom, boom! Let's go!
What is up, digital companions? My name is KhanEX and welcome back to another video. And yesterday we are talking about the evolution lines of the Three Musketeers. And yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting group, especially...
Quick question though, how the hell is Gundramon one of the 3 Musketeers? He is all gun.
when we look over to the card game that I'll talk about in a little bit. But their theming is obviously very gun-focused, being musketeers coming from the book The Three Musketeers, and building upon that as kind of like outlaw rebel Digimon. It's also interesting that we have Magna Kidmon, Bielstarmon, and Gundramon, but Avenge Kidmon, while ostensibly just a mutation of Magna Kidmon, could potentially be seen as their D'Artagnan. As many of you may know, while the book is called The Three Musketeers, it kind of follows prominently 4 characters. The Three Musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, and of course D'Artagnan, who is telling the story. Is Avenge Kidmon supposed to be their D'Artagnan, the sort of unofficial member? Maybe Bielstarmon X-Antibody is their D'Artagnan, though again I think both of these are more just like mutations.
What about just Bielzamon?
Of core members, which leads to me wondering who would be their 4th? Who would be their D'Artagnan? Hey, Pascal! Huh? Today's video is sponsored by Marvel Strike Force. Use my link in the description down below or scan my QR code to download the game for free.
Oh, whoops, I'm covering that QR code. Go to the original video for that.
On mobile and PC. Marvel Strike Force is a completely free mobile squad RPG, putting you in control of your favorite Marvel superheroes and villains. From Iron Man to Wolverine to Venom and much more, and then save the universe from the likes of Doctor Doom and Apocalypse. Your goal is to power up your favorite characters and complete missions, unlock gear and other resources, and then take the beat down to other players in PvP modes such as Alliance War and Arena, where you can wipe the floor with them. And if you're a new player, unlike me, don't worry, you can unlock up to 17 total characters within the first 30 days, including Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, and more favorites. Marvel Strike Force is constantly evolving with tons of game modes. There's the campaigns, Blitz, and Arena, but also the Alliance War, where every week players face off in a gigantic alliance battle, raids, and cosmic crucible. There is so much potential in this game to create a well-balanced team which keeps gameplay dynamic and engaging, like creating synergy between characters of the same faction, say the Avengers or the X-Men, and taking you to victory. That good team composition and synergy is key to mastering Marvel Strike Force and unlocking its full tactical potential. Also, during August, be sure to check out the brand new versions of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, inspired by the new film. Unlock these 2 characters by participating in the Fantastic Force event, which will be live throughout July until August 17th. And to celebrate Marvel Studios'
that is kind of a clever move, punching up and having it turn to just drop on them. I like that.
First steps, Marvel Strike Force is giving away the full Fantastic Four team for free. For a limited time, use promo code MSF4 to unlock Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Human Torch. This team will help you climb out of the early game and set you up for success in PvP modes like the Arena and Alliance War. Use your newly unlocked Fantastic Four team from the promo code to obtain these new characters to climb to the top of the Arena leaderboards. The MSF4 promo code will be available until September 30th, 2025. And don't forget to use my link or scan my QR code to check out the game. And thank you to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring this video. Let's keep going. So yes, the Three Musketeers, as many of you may be aware, is now an archetype, a trait in the Digimon TCG. And it's kind of created so that all of these can have a really merged evolution line. You know, a lot of these cards will have text which lets them ignore their color evolution in favor of digivolving from a Digimon with the trait Three Musketeers. Because of that, it's also a tricky one to decide who lines up with who, as well. Of course, color-based decks are a factor. character. It has become much less the case, especially with archetypes like the Three Musketeers. You have to run mono or mostly mono-colored decks. Now, I do quite like the idea of them all.
I mean, I kind of, that would kind of just make sense if you want to get to the final form.
Having a shared evolution line, like one line that then diverges at the mega level. And we can kind of see this in the TCG. For example, Deputymon is basically one of the first common denominator champions that these three received, being able to digivolve into Three Musketeers back in BT6. And we didn't see a bigger upswing in Three Musketeers stuff till like BT21 and EX7. There's also something to be said about Satellamon, who is a Appmon who has been added to the Three Musketeers. I have never felt more vindicated about using Appmon in Evolution Lines videos than this instance. The purple and black card mean it can also tie into the Gundramon side of EX7. However, visually, of course, Satellamon looks a lot like Magna Kidmon and Avenge Kidmon, but also it kind of, to me, makes sense, especially as a Scopemon evolution, we'll get into that in a minute, as a Bielstarmon pre-evolution. But let's say, just for the fun of the video, that they all get their own designated evolution line. Which one makes the most sense for them? Well, obviously, the card game very heavily indicates that Impmon would be Bielstarmon's rookie. It makes sense. Bielstarmon is ostensibly a Beelzemon variant, so its roots
it's literally just a female Beelzemon, so
originating in Impmon make a ton of sense. I'm going to talk about that whole connection when I do my idea for a kind of less Three Musketeers TCG-oriented line, but stick with it. Then, I think very clearly in the TCG is Scopemon. It can digivolve off a level 3 with Three Musketeers in its traits. It's a level 4, and wow, I've really never noticed it before. But that headpiece is super Impmon and Beelzemon family-esque. Putting it right next to Impmon and into Bielstarmon, or indeed Beelzemon, it works fantastically. Scopemon just has it all going on. It's very
that line there works immediately. Like, that's the end of it. Done.
Focused as an Appmon, and yeah, like I say, that visual similarity to the Impmon family cannot be understated. Then, yeah, I think Satellamon makes sense. It's another Three Musketeers purple Digimon, and while there wasn't a BT21 Bielstarmon to go along with it, it still feels more in the Bielstarmon wheelhouse to me. Now, if I were to go with something more ideal for me, something to match more into the kind of wicked outlaw vibes that Bielstarmon has and that kind of feminine energy, I would actually start with Petite Mammon. This is a very Impmon-esque looking Digimon that was in Digimon V-Tamer, and to me, at least one of them read more feminine. I don't know, maybe that's me reaching. Then, yeah, I actually really like Scopemon here. I think it makes a ton of sense. However, something that might get a little bit tricky, especially in the current card game, is that, and I can't believe I've never seen this connection before, but Systemon Noir would be a fantastic Bielstarmon pre-evolution at the champion level. It's a nun with guns. Like, that leading into Bielstarmon makes so much sense. You know, she's going from the more pure nun who discovers how to kick ass to maybe leaving the church and going out on her own and becoming a cowboy. Now, yes, this would cause...
Which would also explain the way she's dressed.
Issues in English-speaking parts of the world, because we tend to still get Systemon Noir replaced with Systemon CL after the whole Cyber Sleuth controversy. But let's not forget, even in Cyber Sleuth, well, they have kind of changed this now. CL still kept Noir's guns until they gave her more of her own personality, so really either of those would work, but I think the black dress of Systemon Noir specifically leads us beautifully into the connective tissue of Lady Devimon, who, yeah, doesn't have a gun, but does have an X-antibody, just like Bielstarmon X-antibody. If you're less concerned with guns, I do like the more spooky evolution branch I've talked about before. Ghostmon to Witchmon, and then either keeping the red going to Arukenimon, or still being Lady Devimon, and finally Bielstarmon. However, I really have grown...
But the guns seem almost left field in that case.
...fond of Scope.
Now with this one, that is just kind of good.
Here. I also want to touch on this, and that is that Bielstarmon has some sort of relationship with Sparrowmon. This association with Sparrowmon comes from Cross Wars and the Blue Flare and Midnight factions having some relationship to guns. However, I don't think that Sparrowmon would be an evolution for Bielstarmon and more like a companion. It's not impossible that it would factor into the line, but I see it more as a friend. In fact, we see art of Bielstarmon at the Mega level with Sparrowmon. That kind of makes more sense to me that it would be a separate Digimon. There was a Gundramon, the Shotmon, which, yeah, it's an Appmon again, but it's literally a little gun.
It's literally a little gun dinosaur guy. Yeah, Shotmon, hands down. Done.
of guns. It could not be a more perfect Gundramon pre-evolution if it tried. Again, though, that is a BT21 pick, which Gundramon was
Doesn't
not
matter.
in. If we look over to EX7, instead we
God,
get
that's
Toy
awesome.
Agumon, specifically Black Toy Agumon as a pre-evolution.
Oh, that's also Black Cleo Toy Agumon.
I had to think long and hard about this, and I couldn't really find any decent reasoning why, other than Toy Agumon in general seems to be used as a Deputymon pre-evolution quite commonly, and this could maybe hint at the idea that maybe Deputymon is actually like a toy gun that a kid might play with. I'm never really sure.
Oh, like a Sheriff's gun, like what Woody would have had in Toy Story.
On that connection, if anyone knows why, let me know in the comments down below. We have seen Tankmon, who was used as the champion in this instance, digivolve from Black Toy Agumon before, and yeah, I can see that making sense. Again, if it's toys building up, kind of becoming either a toy gun or a real gun, but that kind of construction vibe, maybe.
Definitely a
The thing
jump.
about Tankmon being the champion for Gundramon, I think, is actually pretty good, but I wish instead of using Black Toy Agumon, they'd committed to using Shotmon again, because the green little gun transitioning to the green tank gun makes a lot of sense to me. Then in the
Oh, I just realized there's a Deputymon riding that Tankmon.
card game, we get the transition to Gigadramon in the black colors for EX7 that have a Three Musketeers Digivolution set. I don't think this is bad. This is mainly, I think, as a kind of parallel to the fact that Magna Kidmon and I guess Avenge Kidmon get Megadramon in that set. So Megadramon, Gigadramon, two halves of the same coin. Magna Kidmon being red, Gundramon being black. Like, you can see how it makes
Okay, yeah, no, now I see the connection.
sense, I guess. But yeah, this evolution line is pretty good. Like, the thematic links are black, I guess, and machinery, but I feel like Gigadramon, while it does have these kind of like arm guns, I feel like we could ramp it up a little bit. I do like that Gigadramon is a Dramon, right? That makes sense. Introducing the Dramon into the evolution line. However, to me, it's genuinely frustrating that they did not use Tank Dramon here. Having either Black Toy Agumon or Shotmon, becoming Tankmon, and then Tank Dramon, literally just adding the Dramon trait before it becomes Gun Dramon later.
Yeah, this is honestly possibly the best Digivolution line. Shotmon to Tankmon to Tankdramon to Gundramon.
My only assumption here is they didn't want to use it because it's D-Brigade, and D-Brigade is an established archetype of its own in the card game, and so if they made Tankdramon in this evolution line, they'd have to give it both the D-Brigade and Three Musketeers traits, but I actually don't know about that. I don't know. The balancing of the card game is very difficult. From a non-card game perspective, from a Digimon lore perspective, ignoring how it would balance for the TCG, I think Shotmon, Tankmon, Tankdramon, Gundramon is really fantastic.
Literally perfect.
And it doesn't matter, again, outside of the TCG, if Tankdramon is pulling double duty as a D-Brigade member and a pre-evolution for a Three Musketeer, because Gundramon itself also pulls double duty, being a...
I mean, you could even make in lore saying that Tankdramon eventually went like wild from the D-Brigade, and like it went all full slaughter mode, so it lost the D-Brigade status. And became one of the Three Musketeers.
A crack team member and a Three Musketeer. It is a little bit annoying, I will admit. Like I say, I would have liked to have seen Tankdramon here, but I think I get why in the TCG having a D-Brigade Three Musketeer crossover might have created some balancing issues, so fair enough. And this is why I never fully take the TCG as gospel for the most likely evolution line for a Digimon. Remember, this is that anime-style evolution we're talking about. Of course, Digivolution is free overall. VPETs and things like that. But they do have to consider balance when they make these things, and that's why sometimes really obvious evolution lines might not happen, because a Digimon already belongs to an archetype that is too strong or could become broken if mixed with another archetype. Regardless, though, I love using Shotmon as Gundramon's rookie. Though, if we are going to introduce a lot of D-Brigade into Gundramon's line, I also think Commandramon would be a very serviceable rookie here. Commandramon, Tankmon, Tankdramon, Gundramon. Pretty good. Moving
you gotta drop the drum on for a little bit.
Over to our final member of the trio in Magna Kidmon. The EX7 route is honestly pretty good. Toy Agumon...
Okay, hold on. I got a real quick question for this guy. Why the hell are his legs guns?
Shows up again, like I said earlier, because it seems to be a common Deputymon Prevo in things like the VPETs, and Deputymon is used as Magna Kidmon's champion here. Then we get Megadramon, like I say, definitely fine. It being a red Digimon, having kind of guns, I guess. And Magna Kidmon, this is a really nice touch, is a Dragon Man type Digimon. So while it might seem random them to introduce a Dragon Digimon, a Dramon, into this evolution line, it's actually pretty close to lore for Magna Kidmon, which is why I don't hate it. And I think it does work surprisingly well. I just wish there was a little bit more of a cowboy outlaw vibe going on, which is why, of course, I do love Satellamon as a pre-evolution for Magna Kidmon. I honestly wish we could lean into more demon vibes for Magna Kidmon, given that it reminds me of Dante from Devil May Cry. But really, I think Megadramon and Satellamon are our best options here. However, I might also use Shopmon as the rookie here instead of Toyagumon, again, just because I think the Toyagumon connection's a little bit strenuous. Or yeah, use a Dragon Rookie, use Dracomon or something. That could be interesting. I think Deputymon is a no-brainer here, and I really do think either Megadramon or Satellamon is fine. Now here's an interesting bonus, Avenge Kidmon. Now, ostensibly Avenge Kidmon, like I say, is just a mutation slide evolution of Magna Kidmon.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much just Black Kidmon.
Its TCG route basically is going to be the same as Magna Kidmon. It can just digivolve from a Three Musketeers trait, don't worry about it. However, I do like the idea of kind of like dark halves of Digimon being able to separate off into their own existence. And that's why I have actually become quite fond of Astamon as a pre-evolution for Avenge Kidmon. It's a much more dark, creepy, gun-toting pre-evolution. Astamon leaning more into the kind of like New York gangster kind of vibe, but still I think it fits Avenge Kidmon well enough. But interestingly, I'd actually like to take, if we are using Toyagumon for Magna Kidmon, Toyagumon from Gundramon, the black version, and use that as the rookie for Avenge Kidmon, creating more parallels if those two are going to happen, and then have Black Toyagumon digivolve to Hookmon. It's a pirate, it has like this blunderbuss, and it just looks kind of a little bit more childish, toyish, I guess you could say. But then the connective tissue between Hookmon and Avenge Kidmon would be Captain Hookmon. Obviously, no-brainer evolution for Hookmon, even though it happens pretty infrequently. But if you look at Captain Hookmon, and I can't believe this is a connection I've not seen until this video, it lines up so well with Avenge Kidmon. First of all, Captain Hookmon has a gun leg. Like, it goes into a boot, but that's a gun.
I was literally just about to say, that's a gun leg.
And yeah, it's on the other leg compared to Avenge Kidmon, but honestly, do we care that much? It's Digimon. They also both wear black and red robes with a black hat on top. I mean, a pirate hat turning into a cowboy hat. Pirates, cowboys, ninjas, you know, you've been on the internet for 20 years probably. Look at you. Captain Hookmon even has grey hair, which Avenge Kidmon also does, admittedly with, I think, red tips. There's not a lot of art depicting his hair in great detail. I don't know, just looking at the posing of these two, Captain Hookmon and Avenge Kidmon, it's super similar. And I could see how this pirate captain...
I could totally see Captain Kidmon turning into Revenge Kidmon.
Maybe returning to shore, becoming disenfranchised and hated by the people, could become Avenge Kidmon, who, according to the Digimon reference book, is a Magna Kidmon that became so consumed by the desire for revenge that the data its own negative thoughts overwhelmed its Digicore. It's even said that its move Destruction Trigger involves pinning an enemy underfoot, then firing an explosive bullet into them at point-blank range from its gun leg, regardless of the fact that this will injure Avenge Kidmon as well. If it injured his leg, if it blew his leg off, he'd become a bit of a peg leg, a bit of a pirate. I don't know, that's pretty good. Alright, that is it. My evolution line ideas for the Three Musketeers from the upcoming Digimon story Time Stranger. Obviously looking at the TCG, but also crafting some silly little lore of myself. Remember, this is just a bit of fun. Digivolution is free and branching, and we shouldn't take it super seriously when we talk about evolution lines. Just a bit of fun that people like to watch. Let me know your ideas in the comments down below. I'm sure there is a plethora of other gun Digimon and Dragon Digimon we could throw into these evolution lines. And thank you to my Sovereigns, EDK14, all of my other supporters over on patreon.com/KhanEX. Thank you to my Davers as well. We are working on a big custom art video, so I've rolled over a couple of months of Davers support so that I can pay for that big custom art video that's coming out in September. And thank you to everyone who supports me over here on YouTube as well. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye-bye.
Alright everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see y'all next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.